Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Heart Room. I am Travis Bruce, and today I am going to do a author spotlight. I have Mr. Brian Dubois with us here today.
How you doing?
Not bad, buddy. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
This is a blast. I love doing this.
We've been talking back and forth through Messenger for weeks, and we're finally
serious. We're like best friends already. I mean, you're coming over for dinner Sunday night.
And we're finally talking face to face.
I love it.
So you have a book out right now, and this is a mouthful. The Perverse Misadventures of Grampy's
Shovel Buddy.
Shovel Buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, that coming out, as well as you have a haunted attraction too in your backyard that's going to be open from October 20th all the way through Halloween.
Yep.
Awesome. So first, tell us about the Perverse Misadventures of Grampy's Shovel Buddy.
Well, to save you a little bit, I just call it Grampy Shovel Buddy.
Okay, perfect. That's what I'm going to call it.
That's my most recent. It just came out probably about 3-4 months ago, and it's a follow-up to the book before it, Riding the Finger. And Riding the Finger is all about a small cult trying to get itself set up, and the murder and the mayhem that result. I called it Riding the Finger because the cult members will take off the finger of their sacrifices and pass it back and forth to one another, kind of like a souvenir to prove they're in the cult. And then I did so much research. I did so much background for the cult itself. I created a sigil. There's an actual demon that you can follow along on Wikipedia. If you want to have a demon on your shoulder, you can choose this one if you want. I did all this research. I still had more to write. So I created Grampy's Shovel Buddy, which stands alone. You don't have to read Riding the Finger to be able to read Grampy's Shovel Buddy. And in that book, the main character, Murphy Rudolph, it's become his responsibility to clear out his grandfather's house after the old man passes away. And he finds that his grandfather was a very active member of the Riding the Finger cult. He has all of their secrets and their rituals. And when the cult finds out that Murphy Rudolph now has all of their biggest secrets and rituals, they're not happy about it at all. And that's when the chase begins.
Wow. Now, how long did it take you to write this book?
That one was fast. That's my fastest book. I had that roughed out and to my beta readers within 8 months.
Wow.
That's the fastest I've ever written anything.
Wow.
It just came. It was ready. It was ready to come out.
Now, is there going to be a spinoff on this one as well, or does this have a pretty much of a concrete ending?
I have this story definitely. Grampy Shovel Buddy definitely ends.
Okay.
But I do have a few other Riding the Finger cult related short stories, and I think they're going to go into a collection sometime late 2024, early 2025.
Okay. Sounds good. Now, what got you into horror writing?
I just love to write. I've been writing since I was just a wee lad, and I never stopped. And, I grew up in the 80s. Stephen King, Dean Koontz, they were all over the place. Horror was getting big all over again, and I jumped right on the bandwagon. I read everything I could get my hands on. John Saul, Robin Cook. I was, then Richard Lehman came along. Mm-hmm. Wow, Richard Lehman, I love him. So I wanted to emulate them. I didn't want to be like them. I didn't want to write like they wrote, but I wanted to write also.
That's amazing. And you have written numerous of books throughout the years.
It's true. I've been published since 2001.
2001. That's a long time. I mean, that's the year that I graduated from high school.
Thanks for bringing that up.
So have you noticed in the book writing, author, publishing realm, have you noticed since 2001 to now 2023, have there been some extreme differences, or what are some challenges that you've seen?
I love the fact that the internet gives us the ability to get our work out there.
Okay.
I love the fact that we don't have to go through a legitimate publishing house to get your work out there, because that was probably one of the most miserable experiences I ever went through. In 2001, when I first started with my novel, The Gory Details, I went through all the steps of trying to get an agent and getting a publishing house, and it just took all the fun out of it for me. I mean, back then everything wasn't digitized, and I'm sending out packets and packages and these pages, and I'm waiting, and I'm spending half my salary in postage just to get stuff out. And I understand that was the process, but I was writing just to have fun. That's my hobby. My career as a teacher, so it was sucking the fun out of it. And I took a break. I wrote Last Ditch Effort in 2006, and then I took a break. I was raising kids and I was writing, but I was just putting it off to the side. And I had to remind myself to have fun again and to enjoy it and to not take it so seriously. And once I started not taking myself so seriously, I always take my writing seriously, but not taking myself so seriously, that's when the fun returned again. And I turned to the internet, and I turned to publishing on demand and Amazon and self-publishing, and the fun came back because people were being able to get my writing, and they're telling me they're enjoying it. It's not the fact that I'm saying, oh, I wrote this and I love it and it's good. It's other people saying we want more, and we're enjoying this and we want more.
That's amazing. Now, I've talked to some authors, and some of them have rituals when they are getting ready to write their next piece of work. They go off somewhere, or they go down into the basement and blast Metallica. Do you have any rituals when it comes to your writing?
I'm going to tell you some secrets that I haven't told before. There's only a few people I can listen to music-wise when I'm writing. Otherwise, I get distracted by the lyrics. Okay. I can listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay. I can listen to Gordon Lightfoot. Okay. And I can listen to Neil Diamond. Those are the... I'm sorry. I'm letting stuff out. Those are the only three that I can actually concentrate, listen to, drown out, and still be able to write. Everything else I'm just jamming along with and trying to remember the words, and if not, just making up my own words. Okay. Otherwise, with a full-time job, with 8 kids that are running around all the time, whenever I can grab a moment, I grab a moment. And I'm always writing stuff down, taking notes, because as soon as I think of it, I'm going to forget it. And I don't want to forget it. I'm huge on note taking. I'm huge on outlining stuff before I actually get into my writing process. And I always handwrite my first drafts because I find my hand and my brain work at the same speed. Okay. So now in the year 2023, if you could go back to 2021 Brian and give him one piece of advice when it comes to writing, what would it be? 2021 Brian is the one who gave me the advice that I have now, and that's to going back and having fun. Have fun with it. So that's the advice that I took back then, and that's the advice that I keep putting out now. Just have fun with it, because if you're not having fun with it, it's not worth doing at this point. Okay. Now, do you attend horror conventions? Actually, we've talked about this. We were talking about Monster Mania. Monster Mania. Yeah, I know. Yeah, and that's right down the street from you. So, do you attend? What do you do? Well, I just started promoting myself. I'm terrible at this, promoting myself and marketing myself. So I just started doing that. I haven't done the big conventions for my writing probably in a good 10 years, and I'm starting to get back into it again. So no, I haven't done the big ones, but I'm looking to get back into them again. I've done a ton of small ones. I've had a blast talking to people. I've gotten great feedback, and that's kind of motivating me to get into the bigger, longer ones that I have to travel to. And I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I love horror conventions. As you know, they're always a blast, except for, I love Monster Mania in New Jersey, but I just feel like they need a bigger venue at this point. It's huge. It's huge. And as a vendor, you can't, I would like they do the flea market in Oaks now, which is great. That was a great idea to be able to break off the vendors from the celebrity guests once in a while, because that's what I focus on. I focus on the vendors. I love to look around, go shopping, and I love to talk to the crafters and see how they're making stuff, especially so I can, do that for my own haunted house. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of the celebrity guests are great. I mean, I met I met Carrie Fisher at Monster Mania. I had no idea I met Carrie Fisher. She bought props off of me. I had no idea who she was.
That's
Not a
bad.
clue. Her handlers came back and went, "You have no idea who that was." I was like, "No, should I?" And they told me, and I was like, "Oh man,
Missed your opportunity.
I did, I did." But yeah, for me, it's all about the meeting the crafters, learning how they do what they do, especially the prop makers, and being able to buy stuff.
Yeah. And I'm a big fan of the vendors. Anytime I do my walkthrough at the horror convention, I try to at least stop at 5 vendors and speak to them. I mean, literally, this is from this weekend, and I always purchase a book.
Nice. Yeah, I
Every
try to
time.
support all the independent authors I can.
Yep. So I have a whole stack of book just from horror conventions because I do support. At the end of the day, the vendors make the conventions. That's the way
True. It's true. I agree 100% with that.
Yep. So you guys definitely support them. All right. So I understand you're working on 2 projects, or you have 2 projects that are in completion that have been released soon.
They are done.
Okay.
They've been edited. I'm waiting for the cover art to come through, and we're going to send them off to the printer, so they're hopefully ready by the middle of December. I'm actually doing one of I think it's the New Jersey Horror Con in Edison. They're having a flea market December 16th, if I remember correctly, and I'm planning on being there, and I'd like to have those 2 new titles for when I show up. The first one is called Satan's Guide to Telling Good Bar Jokes.
Oh, this sounds amazing. Tell me a little bit about this one.
That is my first attempt into supernatural. Usually I keep everything based in reality, and I wanted to try something a little bit new. So I was talking to a couple friends, and we were actually getting into, dad jokes, because that's one of the things I do awesomely. And we kind of segued off into the old bar jokes, a nun, a rabbi, and a priest walk into a bar, and I was like, wait a minute. And the first one I got into was a demon and a pimp walk into a bar. And then I had a Sasquatch and a cat lady walk into a bar. And then I went off on that. And then it turns into, Satan happens to own all of these bars. And I made sure that each bar was set in a different decade. And I picked out the music that was popular during the date that story set in. And I picked out the bar drinks that were popular. I tried to be very true to the time period. And I had a great time with it. I really did. I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited for this one as well.
Yeah,
it's released at the end of the year, by the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to have it in hand so people can buy hard copies by December 16th.
Well, hold me a copy because I'm going to be at the Edison market as well, so I'll be by.
Love it.
And the second one?
Second one is called No Place for Nice Guys. And this one's different. It's not horror. It's still gory. It's still very violent, but it's more of a hard-boiled crime, noir type of thing. I went to that end of the spectrum because I love that type of literature as well. And so I wanted to take a shot at it. And I've been working on these stories probably for a good 10 years. And I had 4 solid ones, and I couldn't get the last one to go. We had the title, we had the premise, but I just couldn't get that last one in place, and it popped for me probably back last winter, and I was able to get it written. And so I was able to complete that collection. It's called No Place for Nice Guys. It stars a very noir character named Kingston. And it was, the idea came to me from an old Mel Gibson movie called Payback, if you've ever seen it. And that's based off a series of novels by Richard Stark.
Okay.
With a main character named Parker, and I loved it. I love the idea that there's no good guys.
Yes.
That you're rooting for the least of the bad guys. So I got enamored by that, and I wanted to create my own version of that, and that's what this is.
That sounds amazing too. And that's going to be December 16th?
Yes, it will be.
Awesome. So yeah, get out to that. What's it called? The New Jersey Market?
I think it's the New Jersey Horror Con Flea Market. I think that's what they're calling it.
And it's at the Edison Convention Center. No, the New Jersey Convention Center. I know we're talking about. They just had their convention.
Yeah, they do it there a few times a year. I've never been to the one in Edison. I've always gone to their Atlantic City one at the Showboat.
I'll be there for that one as well.
Awesome.
Yep. All right, so let's go over to, since October is around the corner, haunted
That's
houses.
scary.
Is my
Yeah.
favorite, man.
I was outside building today for a good 5-6 hours. I got into a groove and I got going. We've been doing this. This is year 18 for us. We're only doing 2 more years. We're going to end it at year 20 because it's just gotten way too big for me to handle all by myself now. It's in my backyard. It's under 2 20 by 20 tents with an open area between it. So technically it's closer to 60 feet long and then 20 feet wide. In the past, we've done up to 12 different rooms. As we're, scaling down, we're down to 6 rooms this year. We've had up to 60 volunteers helping us. The last 4 or 5 years, we've had about 1,000 people go through over the nights we're open. And the wait times have been, 2 hours long. And that bothers me. I'll be honest with you. The whole reason I started this was back when my kids were small. We were always looking for something to do on Halloween. And it was always, you spent $50, $60 and you waited online and then it was just meh. So I looked to my wife and, I said, I think I can do better. And I don't think she believed me at first because she was like, go ahead, give it a try. And then this happened. And I'll be honest, she hates the whole process, the whole building process. Up until opening night, she hates me with a lather until it opens. And then she loves hearing the screams and she loves hearing the laughter and she loves talking to the crowds. And one thing we do that's very different from a lot of the other haunted houses is we do a choose your own adventure type of thing. So when you come see us, you can choose if you want no scare before you go into the haunted house. And that means all the actors will take their masks off or they'll hide. There'll be no jumping out. They'll just wave and say Happy Halloween. You could choose to do full scare, which means they're jumping out. They're doing what they're supposed to do in a haunted house to make you scared. And then we have the very special Code Brown level, which is when you're getting grabbed and pulled and sprayed and spoken to directly. That's for the special ones.
Okay, and
you choose that before you go in.
Well, when I come out in October, I will be doing the Code Brown on video.
Good. So, you're gonna leave sloppy. I'm promising you. Especially this year, because our theme is assault on the senses.
Nice.
We are we're making things a little bit messier for the Code Brown people. I'll give you a hint. If you go up to full scare, you get to wear gloves. If you go Code Brown, you're not allowed to wear gloves.
All right. So I should bring a change of clothes.
We're gonna have a cleanup station in the front yard, I believe. Little sanitation station to get people at least able to get back in their cars.
I might have a Code Brown in my pants afterwards. That's what you're trying to say.
Perfect. Yes. We cheer that. They actually there's a PA system that goes through the whole haunted house for safety and for to call the tours, and they'll call a code blue, which means you made somebody cry, or they'll call a code yellow, which means somebody piddled their pants, and they admit it. They come out and they're like, I think I peed, and I'll mic it back and let everybody know, and they applaud themselves. They love it.
I worked at my first haunt last year, and I'm giving a shout out again, the Nevermore in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah.
I was the butcher in the scene, and I'm telling you, I had so much fun. It was an absolute blast,
isn't it?
It was an absolute blast. I would not do it again because I was literally because I go 120% on everything I do.
It's a physical workout,
and I was blowing out my voice every single night.
Yep.
Like blown out during the weekends. So it is a demanding thing, but it was so much fun.
It's addicting.
Oh, it was so much fun.
It's addicting. There was one year where I played a butcher role, and we had a whole freezer scene set up. And my youngest daughter, who's a gymnast, she was very tiny at the time. We kept her in a dog cage, and when the tour came in, she would burst out of the cage, run through the tour and to me, and we'd actually worked out a choke slam where I would grab her and slam her down into a pool of water, so it would splash all over everybody, and they would have to walk past that. And we did that 100 times a night.
Wow. It's fun.
It's fun.
I've okay. This is a fun question. I'm going to ask you.
Go ahead.
Something fun. All right. So I did a video last month. It was about the worst haunted attraction I've ever been to. And
Okay.
I'm gonna give it the answer. It's Base Motel.
Really?
I don't know if it was because of the hype, to say, oh, US Today, greatest haunted house in the country, blah, 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 blah. And I went there. It's a huge attraction. Let me get it wrong. It's a huge attraction, special effects on it, but there was nothing scary about it.
It's too
There
bad.
was nothing scary about it. It was like they spent more money on the build
Mhm.
and everything, not the actual scares. So,
No, I get that. I don't use any animatronics at all.
mhm.
It's people. It's
And that's
people.
that's how I mean the Nevermore where I worked at, it was all people.
Hmm. It makes a difference.
It definitely makes a difference because people can interact differently compared to even like me as a scare actor. Like depending on who was coming, I seen camera in the corner, I switched up my role on what I was going to do. So
Yep.
yeah, you can switch it up. So what's the worst haunted attraction that you've ever been to?
I wish I had a good answer for you because I'm building from August until we open. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm building until the day we open. I don't get to go to a whole lot of haunted attractions.
Huh.
I miss out on them, and because it's in my backyard, and because the township doesn't love me so much,
I can
I
imagine.
have to get it broken down within a month, or I get fined.
Wow.
So it's a $1,500 fine if I don't get it broken down in a month. So I am scrambling after we shut our doors to get it broken down and put away to keep everybody happy.
Okay.
So I don't get to go to a whole lot of haunted attractions. And when I do, I'm always looking for how they do stuff. So half the time I don't even see the scares because
Mhm.
I'm looking up to see where those black lights are attached, or I'm
Right,
looking
yeah.
I'm looking over here to see where the noise is coming from, or I'm telling the person next to me, there's a person behind that brick wall. Trust me on this one. I suck to go through a haunted attraction with. Nobody wants to go with me.
I rarely get scared at them, but if you get a chance to come up to Maryland, Maryland has two of the best haunted. I've been to haunted houses all throughout the country.
Mhm.
Maryland has two of the best haunted houses attractions
Yeah.
in the whole country. The Nevermore in Baltimore is absolutely amazing.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying it because I worked there, but I also went there before I became an actor, and it scared the shit out of me.
Now I've heard good things about that.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I have a video up on my YouTube too. I did a walkthrough. It was halfway to Halloween with Laurel's House of Haunt. Absolutely amazing. I was screaming the whole entire time.
That's in Maryland also.
Yeah, that's in Laurel, Maryland, closer to like DC.
Okay.
But it's a old movie theater that's haunted, that burnt down. People are tragic. I forgot the story, but the story is in the video. But it's just like you're going through the theater. You see the seats are still there, the concession stands are still there. It's just like from
That's
beginning
right.
to the end, they're at you like relentless.
That's right up my alley. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, even walking. If you watch the video, I'm walking to my car in a parking lot, and they were still coming. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa! Like, I thought this was over.
Now, the one thing that I do stress to my actors, and I try to do it in my writing too, is that there's different ways to scare people.
Mm-hmm.
Not every scare should be a jump scare.
Correct.
And when I design rooms in my haunted house, not every room is designed to be a jump scare. And that's the hardest thing because every actor you get in there wants to jump out and be that one to scare everybody. And I got to explain to them that you're supposed to be creepy. And, this is the creepy room. This is the one where we want to kind of let them take a breath, but then not be able to let that breath out.
Yep. It's setting up for the next room where, boom, they're going to. Yeah.
And to also release the people. They got to stop scare. This is the end of your scare zone. Leave them alone. Let them move to the next one. That's a big thing with the actors because they just want to keep scaring. They love it.
And then you have a backup.
Yes. There was one year where two very lovely old ladies just stopped dead in their tracks and they refused to move any further. And so, I'm at the end of the tour. My wife's at the front of the tour. She calls it, and then I'll call all clear, and people come out. And these two old ladies never came out. And we were like, uh-oh. And so we had to go find them and walk them out.
Wow. Wow. So that's pretty amazing that you give them 3 different levels to choose from.
I want everybody to have a good time.
Yes. I'm definitely going Cold Brown. I'm telling you.
Good.
Cold Brown. So guys, look forward to sometime towards the end of October. It's gonna be a video up on my channel. I'm going Cold Brown.
Awesome. I can't wait to make you scream.
Yes. I love being scared. I love screaming. I love it. I love it.
It's fun. It's cathartic.
So, Brian, where can everybody find your books?
All right. So I have my website, brianduboisauthor.com. Everything's available there. I do have things on godless.com that are available for digital download, and that's linked right into my website at brianduboisauthor.com. Also, people can see me on TikTok, and I'm always doing updates on what I'm working on there. That's Brian Dubois 07. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook and Snapchat. It's all either my name, Brian Dubois, or the Dubois Family Haunted House.
Awesome. Guys, definitely check out the websites and check out the haunted house. It's running from October 20th all the way to Halloween. Can you purchase tickets online in advance, or
there's no tickets?
Oh, it's
because
free.
that would mean we're a business. We take donations. We ask for a $5 donation for people that come through, but we are not a business. We're not looking to make money. I almost broke even, and then I didn't. The cleanup kind of just wiped us out because the garbage men were fantastic, but they were like, dude, this is too much. So we had to start renting a dumpster for the trash once I started using monster mud and building caves. And so, yeah, I don't even try to make a profit. That's not my goal. My goal is just for everybody to have fun.
That's awesome. Well, Brian, I appreciate you coming on, man. This was a blast. And
Travis, you're awesome. I'm so happy we got to talk.
Me too, man. We're going to continue talking through Messenger, and I'm going to see you October, and I'm going to see you December too.
Awesome.
All right,
Thanks
guys.
for this opportunity. I appreciate it.
It's no problem, man. I appreciate you coming on. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.